joins us from his home. And Adam, what more can you lend to this story?
John, this story gets more and more disturbing the more we learn. And Sports Radio 610 in Houston obtained a copy of the police report. When you go and read the details, it's chilling. It obviously contradicts what Adrian Peterson's attorney, Rusty Hardin, said. He said that Adrian Peterson was displaying loving discipline for his son, the 4-year-old. The police report states another matter. It states that when the 4-year-old was visiting Peterson in May in Houston, Peterson at one point got upset that he had interfered with the game with another one of his children. And essentially he took a branch from a tree and beat the boy. The boy went back to his mother in Minnesota. She took him to doctors. He had cuts along his buttocks, his thighs, his groin area. The doctor termed it as child abuse and turned it over to another doctor who agreed with him in this particular case. Adrian Peterson said he was just disciplining his son and trying to give him a good old-fashioned whooping at the time. Obviously, law enforcement differs. The attorney has come out and defended Adrian Peterson in this particular case, and the Vikings have taken a stand of their own, deactivating Adrian Peterson from Sunday's game against the New England Patriots at a time when this issue has become very heated in the NFL in one of the most embarrassing weeks in NFL history.
And clearly the Montgomery County, Texas grand jury agreed with the doctors in Minnesota in this case. Adam, you said it, the Vikings deactivated him. Have we heard anything, even boo, from the NFL yet?
Not yet, and the NFL obviously is wrestling with its own issues. But teams have the right to do what they want with an individual player, which is why the noise surrounding the Carolina Panthers and Greg Hardy has gotten louder and louder while the Panthers have sat idly by, not doing anything for a player who a judge found guilty and who now will go to trial in November. The Panthers have allowed him to play. The Vikings, to their credit, have taken matters into their own hands and deactivated Adrian Peterson, saying we cannot play him on Sunday against the New England Patriots, no matter how much he might be able to help us. Now, keep in mind, this is an investigation that had been ongoing for a while. There have been a lot of whispers, quiet whispers, in league circles that another player was poised to be facing discipline. Wes Welker was the first. Adrian Peterson was the second. The first grand jury declined to press charges, but clearly doctors felt that what Adrian Peterson had done was a form of child abuse, and they persisted with this. And when police re-examined the case, then obviously the indictment was handed down, and Adrian Peterson now must return to Texas with the Vikings deactivating him for Sunday's game against the New England Patriots. It comes at such a horrible time where we've seen men hitting women and now reading about men hitting children. And again, I don't know how much more disappointment you could take in one single week.
What more can you tell us, Mort?
Well, I did call the league office and basically was referred to the Vikings. They obviously knew the Vikings were going to take this action of deactivating Adrian Peterson for this game against the New England Patriots, and that's where it ends right now. That's where it starts, actually. And so, Mike Zimmer, the head coach, I couldn't reach him, but certainly, an indictment and the details of the indictment shocked the senses. We're talking about one of the most recognizable players in the NFL, one of the best players in the NFL, somebody who draws a lot of respect, the MVP of the league 2 years ago. And in this case, it is an indictment. I thought Rusty Hardin, even though his statement didn't include the same details as the grand jury and the arrest warrant and all those things, I thought they presented a little bit more acknowledgement that, yes, he basically took a switch to his child, the way he was disciplined. But when you look at the injury report, certainly that makes anybody certainly who has a child, and you and I are both there. Listen, it kind of hits you in the stomach, certainly. But an indictment is not a conviction, and that is usually how you treat this matter. We're certainly, the fact that the Vikings took this action tells you enough.
And what would you expect? And I don't want to put words in your mouth. What would you expect any sort of timetable would be for the Vikings in terms of additional decisions to be made?
Well, under the terms of the collective bargaining agreement, you can suspend a player for conduct detrimental to the team. Now, that's not what they've done. They've deactivated him, and that means he won't be dressed. It means he will get paid for this next game, as they apparently want to gather more information, contemplate going forward, allow Adrian to take care of his legal affairs. We don't know how long this process will take before it actually reaches the trial stage, and see what comfort level they get to. I mean, it's a unique acknowledgement from Adrian's attorney that, yes, he did take a switch or he did spank his child, and that there was injury. He says unintentional injury, but there was injury. And the graphicness of those injuries certainly are very, very unsettling. But in terms of the league stepping in and disciplining the player, there's still a due process factor here. Now the team has some control in terms of how they want to deal with it. But at some point, they'll have to make a decision one way or the other. Like, are we going to suspend him the maximum of 4 games? Are we going to release him? We don't anticipate that.